Hello dear friends. The end of the world scared me a lot when I was a child, until I understood the meaning. Opinion piece. It's not the end of the world. The world is not going to end. We are not all going to die. Panic is very contagious. It has a long literary tradition. New end of the world culture. It's the end of the world of darkness. It's the beginning of the world of light. War costs money, but peace is free. The storm is a cover for awakening. Let's start. We are not all going to die as people scream in the doomsday movies. There is not going to be a catastrophic end of the world as some religious traditions portray it. It is now the end of the world of darkness and the beginning of the world of light, according to Steve Biko. Gaia will cease to have a three-dimensional presence when we ascend. The end of the world has always been the heritage of religion, and now of Hollywood, and its catastrophe movies. Panic is more contagious than viruses, and has produced irrational reactions throughout the history of humankind. Panic has a long literary tradition, from Daniel Defoe's Diary of the Year of the Plague to Albert Camus' The Plague, José Saramago's essay on blindness, and Dean Kuntz's The Eyes of Darkness. Fever. End of the world fever has broken out everywhere. A new end of the world culture is spreading under the cover of the bad news that appears in the media, threatening crisis and wars. All threats capable of unleashing a hecatomb are joined by new ones, such as artificial intelligence or nanotechnology. Social networks are an uncontrolled amplifier of false rumors. They do not filter information and have an unprecedented capacity for verisimilitude that sometimes make them pernicious. They give credence to fallacies and unconfirmed rumors, and transmit absurd messages to millions of people sometimes. Other times they get it right. It seems that many of the conditions of the apocalypse are occurring because there is war and rumors of war. But I believe this will end long before ascension. The increasing energies of love on the planet will make life difficult for the bad guys. A world of darkness will end and a world of light will begin. Final judgment, universal judgment, or judgment day are expressions that define a religious vision of the end of humankind or end times. Eschatology conceives this as a judgment that would decide the final destiny of everyone for all eternity. The belief in a collective judgment or final judgment dictated at the conclusion of time was first recorded in Zoroastrianism, prefiguring the various later eschatologies of Christianity, late Judaism, and Islam. Rumors of war. War costs a lot of money, but peace is free. And when the forces behind wars run out of money, peace returns. But peace of any kind costs nothing to maintain. War costs money. Peace costs nothing. When the dark forces run out of money, peace will prevail again. And of course, there are many plans afoot to fix the world. However, as they run out of money, they become more dangerous. We can expect climate war, supply bottlenecks, shortages of manufactured goods, such as repressive measures or the recent attacks on food processing plants, etc. Unless the population wakes up, we could have a problem. When the storm hits, it is reported that the White Hats will be very busy. So, even the storm is a cover to overcome the darkness. Then, It won't be the end of the world as we know it, but the end of the darkness. Opinions. First, Beers in Spring by Anna von Reitz. You may have noticed that the stock market is not only quietly imploding, it is actively exploding and self-destructing. When the market bottoms out, second-tier investors will buy everything for pennies on the dollar, just as they did during the crash of '29, until someone stops them. It's spring and the bears are coming out of hibernation. Second, Fulford claims that the stock market and cryptocurrency collapse in recent weeks is due to Russia seizing the computers with which they manipulate those markets, which were allegedly in Ukraine. Third, Fulford argues that the Davos Forum meeting to give global powers to the three-letter organization will fail because it has no military support. In response, they will hold an emergency meeting in Switzerland starting May 22nd. Fourth, Puffness said, meetings are being held all over the world that have to do with making alternative agendas, different plans, ways to salvage the intention of gaining control of the whole world. The plans that were put in place have not worked and are not going to work, but some false flags have not yet been resolved. All artificial manipulations will fail. Efforts are being made to shield and make the plans that are waiting for the right time. No one has the signal or the gong bell to say when. Too many market scenarios are still in play. Hang it there until the end. 5. Except from a cryptic message. Remember that today as it is tomorrow, and remember that tomorrow is as is today. Time, death and fear are all illusions. Your dreams are reality. This reality is the dream, a simulation within the matrix simulation. Everything you have ever known is fabricated, fake, scripted, a movie. This world is nothing but a stage. You come from a long way. Never forget where you came from. See you soon. It's yours now. Don't ever let it go. The end is here, and it's not for everyone. Reset News. First, Nick Fleming update. If the Iraqi government misses the May 15th deadline to reevaluate its dinar, people would be out of options for another month. If Janet Yellen doesn't allow this sovereign nation to declare its rights according to the IMF, then expect another no. With this window closed then, June or July is possible, but not locked. When this will happen is still unknown. What is known is that it is impossible to be sure until the evidence is clearly given. Second, when Saddam announced that Iraq would no longer accept the dollar for oil, 2 months later, war broke out. Third, when Gaddafi created a currency assessed for Africa, military power went to Libya. Fourth, now Russia has broken the petrodollar and the same thing is happening. 5. India, China and Russia have long had a different system than SWIFT. 6. Ripple is slowly revealing itself as the new QFS. 7. The bankruptcy of Deutsche Bank would be ruinous for Europe. 8. We are in a moment in which the capitalist system wanted to present itself in contradiction with feudalism and slavery, as the system that creates a massive middle class, but what we have now is that it has become the globalist system, which is exactly the opposite. It is an economic system that could not deliver what is promised, and that doesn't work for the majority of the people. 9. Loeb and Nana's opinion. The White Hats are taking apart the matrix piece by piece and forcing the dark side to show its face as the dominoes fall. The only way to end the game was to take it apart piece by piece, control demolition of the old system and control compromise of the new system. You can't launch anything with demons running around still. Economy. First, Wall Street is back in the red because of a recession. Second, the stock market resumes its losses as retailers look forward to a week of gains. Third, tech giants lose big money. Fourth, Warren Buffett buys stocks in the fall. 5. Stagflation risk is clouding all global market rally. 6. Stock markets are overestimating the risk of recession, says J.P. Morgan. 7. Morgan Stanley believes recession is on the rise and the stocks could fall another 15%. Corporations. First, Microsoft double salary budget to retain staff. Second, Elon Musk discloses dispute with Twitter's legal team. Third, Twitter loses profit since Elon Musk disclosed his stake. Fourth, Walmart anticipates a shortage of managers despite a $200,000 a year salary. Markets. First, gold price falls below 1,800 Troy once. Second, oil rose to its higher level since March. Third, shale companies enjoy profits from high oil prices. Cryptocurrencies. First, Bitcoin is touched but not sunk. Second, the big investors who drove up the price of Bitcoin could collapse it now. Third, Bitcoin will not become an alternative form of money or a store of value, says Ben Bernanke. Fourth, Ethereum creator criticizes Terra's Luna cryptocurrency collapse. Supply crisis. First, the US can't produce enough fuel and there is no solution in sight. Second, diesel supply on the verge of collapse, leading to food, fertilizer, coal and energy shutdowns. Third, US mortgage rates rise for the 9th time in 10 weeks. Fourth, Goya Foods CEO sounds alarm about food prices. 5. According to Charlie Ward, supply chain disruption is a major concern for companies around the world. As recent years have shown, even the most optimized companies are not immune to the risk posed by a potential disruption. 6. X2022 report. The tax side is trying everything to drive us into their new system by using inflation to ruin us and shutting down supply chains to starve us. But this is falling because people know who to blame. Europe. First, European Union gives green light to companies to keep Russian gas flowing. Second, Brussels believes that a total cut-off of Russian gas would sink the Eurozone. Third, Lithuania accuses Hungary of holding the European Union hostage in Russian oil negotiations. Fourth, Ukraine won Eurovision and Spain came third. 5. The Czech Republic inaugurates the world's longest suspended pedestrian walkway. 6. Swiss say yes in referendum to increase Frontex funding. 7. The people of Palestine commemorate 74 years since their catastrophe. 8. Okinawa calls for less US military presence on the 50th anniversary of its return. Spain. First, thermometers soared to 30 degrees in many provinces. Second, vineyards suffer heat stress and soil erosion. Third, bank office closures increase in Spain. Fourth, the Spanish stock market rises 0.19% despite the fall of Wall Street. 5. Brussels lowered its growth forecast for Spain to 4%. 6. Electricity went up for more than 53% in Spain on Monday. 7. 500 demonstrators demand more money for health and nothing for war, in quotes. 8. Spain among the European countries with the fewest weddings. 9. The local staff of Spain in Israel demands a salary review. 10. Spain pays homage to the victims of the Mauthausen concentration camp. Americas. Santiago de Chile will be the guest city at the Buenos Aires Book Fair. Second, Chile advocates for Cuba, Nicaragua and Venezuela to attend the Summit of the Americas. Third, Bolsonaro says he has not yet decided if he will attend the summit. 4. The Peruvian economy advanced 3.84% in the first quarter of 2022. 5. The employed population in Lima grows 23%, but unemployment affects 8.3%. 6. The fall of Bitcoin worsens the fiscal crisis in El Salvador. 7. The Salvadoran government activates a hotline to report gang members. 8. The Colombian presidential election puts Medellin at the center of the dispute. 9. Cuba convenes condolences for victims of Buffalo shooting. Russia. First, Russia grants license to export gold to the Moscow Credit Bank. Second, Russia refuses to negotiate the release of Azovstal fighters. Third, Putin warns Finland that it would be a mistake, in quotes, not to apply for NATO membership. 4. The war in Ukraine is creating an employment crisis in Russia. 5. Russia accepts the challenge of a hybrid war while starting the black market arms business. According to Sochafal, they are trying to implement a plan to shut down the Russian oil and gas industry. Asia. First, India adds to the food crisis by boosting its agricultural stocks. Second, wheat importers in Asia struggle to get supplies after India's export ban. Third, China's economy collapses over confinements. Fourth, China to limit excessive incentives for bankers in salary restrictions. And that's all for today. Thanks a lot, dear friends.